Hello everybody, today I am back with Shilpa Bhasin Mehra, and if you watched last week's video you'll know that Shilpa has a truly inspiring story. I talked to Shilpa last week about how she recovered from being struck by viral meningitis, which led her to be in a coma for 40 days. Today I'm going to talk to Shilpa a little bit more about her recovery period, and also she'll be sharing some tips with us on how we can all start living our best lives. Hello Shilpa.
Thank you so much for having me over, Donia. I hope I can inspire you because you're doing fantastic work yourself.
You're already inspiring me, Shilpa, with your amazing story. But let's talk a little bit more about the recovery period. What did you, what steps did you take to get your life back on track, I guess?
I think we tried everything possible. So from physiotherapy to acupressure to various kind of healings, and just keeping a positive bent of mind all the time. It was like, when you say that was the plan and there was no other plan, because that was the only thing I knew that is going to get me. And my neurologist just told me something that, we will manage everything else. You will walk, I promise you, you'll walk, but just keep a smile on your face. Because depression is the biggest problem for neuro patients. Okay. So from that problem, you then start getting into the depression and the various issues that come with it. So that was a total no-no. So the steps was whatever it takes to get back, that don't give up sort of an attitude, and baby steps, and literally as well as metaphorically, really, really baby steps, So, and he explained it to me really well. He said, you're reborn, so you're like a newborn baby starting everything again. Fortunately, the brain was fine, so we didn't go back to age 0 where that was concerned. But everything else, so the first time that I stood up, and the first step, and then the 10 steps, and then the first stair, kind of a thing, my first outing. I mean, everything was like such a big deal. Yeah. So actually it was just, for me, so many moments were a wow moment.
Yeah, like a celebratory moment.
It was like a celebration. I was like, oh, my toe moved. I mean, are you sure it moved, or am I hallucinating, So I think that was really kept me going, to see the little things, what they call a flicker of a movement, But it was such a big deal. So you're appreciating what is happening. And Donia, I truly believe whatever you appreciate, you get more of it. It's just the law of attraction that's working.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know that one of the things that you did as well to kind of keep yourself busy was write.
Yes.
Now, we already mentioned you wrote your book, All Battles Are Not Legal, but I know that today you're also continuing, your hobby, if I can call it that, of writing, and you're writing for the Khalij Times. I've read many of your articles, and one of the articles I read recently was about COVID-19, and you said, necessity is the mother of invention. It forces us to adapt. Now, all of us have had to adapt, as within this pandemic. But what I want to know is, you personally, given the experience that you've had, how did that force you to adapt? Do you approach life differently today?
Actually, Donia, I think the reason why COVID is not freaking me out is because I have been trapped on a 6-foot bed for 2.5 years. So when people are all the time complaining about being stuck at home and social distancing and everything, I think I had my own COVID. In fact, there's a chapter in my book which is titled My Personal Tsunami, because the tsunami was happening and I was watching it on TV, and a lot of it, struck to what was happening to me. I mean, a disaster comes from nowhere, there's total devastation, and it just leaves, and it was the dark coma, just the way the sea goes calm after playing havoc, So it was like that. And I think necessity is, when someone throws you in water, you have to swim. I think the survival instinct is so strong. So there is no option really. You have to adapt, like this has happened. And I think there the lawyer or the analytical mind helps, that how we weigh the pros and cons. So I was just looking, okay, I can't do this, but I can do that. So you are amplifying what you can do. And there is no time really to sob about what you can't.
No.
I mean, you just deal with it, you accept it, that okay, this is not happening, I cannot go there, but I can do this, and maybe on a conversation or an email I can get this done. And now, of course, the Zoom. I mean, the world is adapting, but yes, like my episode happened many, many years ago. So I kind of adapted, and it's like, life has so much to offer. So if something is not possible, stop cribbing about it. Let's just focus on what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a positive message.
And
would you say you've kind of, in terms of how you've actually adapted, would you say you've slowed things down a little bit, maybe kind of appreciated the moments more? Because you said before you were just always on the go, boom, 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 tick off, everything on the list.
Something that I learned in the hospitals when my movements were happening, they call it compensatory movement. So when one part of your body slows down, sort of a thing, the others, they just bounce to help the weaker part. So I think what's happened in this, the compensatory movement, is that my brain has become sharper. Wow. I remember more the things that I didn't have the time, like writing, like you very rightly pointed out. I always liked to, but after a full day job, and you've got 2 kids in the house, who has the time to write?
Yeah.
You just want to crash out and sleep. So that really, I found the time now. I feel I've gone through an experience. I have something to share. I have a deeper analysis of what's going on. And of course, a lot of appreciation. So I think sometimes you have that other way of looking at things. And I'm glad Khaleej Times does not give me any format. I have carte blanche to write. So I like, and especially in COVID, I think if one can write anything which is even slightly uplifting, it's nice for people to read. I mean, the news is depressing enough.
Yeah, no, definitely. Your content is very inspirational. I can confirm that for sure. So when people go through challenges, I often do like to talk about silver linings, because I always think there is a silver lining. What is yours?
My silver lining was actually told to me on the first day when I opened my eyes. There was a very, very senior neurologist, and he told me, Shilpa, you're very lucky that nothing has happened to your brain, because we have physiotherapy for arms and legs. We don't have physio for the brain. So I think that is the absolute silver lining, that being laid up when you can't even take a glass of water yourself, you forget going to the bathroom, you're just like a statue. But if your brain is working, and in that period of time, I even wrote a book, something which I don't think it was ever on my mind. It was not on my list of things to do. So that is definitely the silver lining, that I'm here, I'm talking to people, I'm doing things, I'm still involved in my profession. I can still do my duties as a mom, as a housewife, as a wife, daughter, sister, friend. So, I mean, I think that's truly the silver lining.
Thank you for sharing that, Shilpa. And finally, if you could give people one piece of advice to help them, live a more inspired life, what would it be?
Okay, I'm going to be clever over here, Donia. I'm going to use that phrase, including but not limited to.
Oh no, lawyer.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Such a lawyer, Shilpa.
So I would say that, you got to give it your best shot. So, and that includes everything, whatever you can do. I would draw a comparison between a mother loving her child. She doesn't need inspiration. She doesn't need motivation. The child is just so precious that she does everything for the child. I think treat life like that. Treat it as precious, and you will automatically do your best. You don't need inspiration. When you say, make it count, and if you can make a difference to the world, that would be cherry on the cake.
Well, you can't have said it better, really, can you, Shilpa? Life is very precious. So thank you so much for coming and sharing your story, and for your pearls of wisdom.
No, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Donia.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching.